Record Store Nation. Ho, ho, ho. And that is not a dig at any young ladies that might be listening. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Season's greetings, season's beatings if you're a wrestling fan. Whatever it is that you celebrate. For those who celebrate whatever it is, that's the biggest snowflake statement in the world for those who celebrate. Anyway, if you celebrate anything this time of year, enjoy that. Have fun with it. If you don't celebrate anything, then, I don't know, eat a good meal or something on the 25th or on New Year's or whatever. New Year's, I have a really strange relationship with New Year's because for many years I didn't like to go out because it's like amateur night, and between the drunk driving and just the people acting stupid, I hated the concept of going out on the 31st because, like, if you're an adult, you can get shit-faced anytime you want. I'm really off on a tangent here. It is the record store, don't forget. So I didn't like New Year's for a real long time, but then a friend of mine is in a band, and they would always traditionally play on New Year's night, or New Year's Eve, rather. And so for about 7 straight years, I did go out, and I would go see them, and I would Uber home, or taxi home. Not that I would get shit-faced, because I don't do that, because I'm a grown-up. But I would enjoy the show, and I would bring in New Year's with my friend and his band, and it was great. So then they got older, and they stopped playing on New Year's. They still do plenty of shows. They play throughout the year. Tributosaurus, shout out to Matt Spiegel. They play throughout the year, but they don't play on the 31st anymore. They play, like, their December show, they do it on, like, the 27th or 28th or whatever. I'm like, it's not the same. I love you guys, but it's not the same. So anyway, now my obsession, and I'm going to make this confession right here on the record store, my obsession is I literally TiVo, or DVR, whatever you want to call it, the New Year's Eve shows on networks. So like the Ryan Seacrest show and whatever they do on NBC and all of those shows. The local show here in Chicago is really entertaining too. I don't know what it is. I'm obsessed with them. I watch them, and I watch it the next day. Like the one that if I'm not watching one of them live, which I'm generally not, but now I might be because the band isn't playing. But then I'll go back and watch the one that I didn't watch live the next day. So yeah, that's weird. Spoiler alert, the ball drops and it becomes the next year, you know? So anyway, that is the tirade and the weird tangent that I went off on. So for the first 2 minutes of the show. So welcome to the record store. 'Tis the season. We do the traditional record store, you know, the deal. I grab a CD off of the voluminous wall of CDs that I'm looking at right now, and I review it. I talk about it. I do some backstory on the band or the artist. It could be an album that I've listened to a million times. Could be an album that, quite frankly, because there are 1,000+ CDs in my collection, there are some CDs that I haven't listened to. And that was the start of this entire podcast and this entire project was, you know what? I'll be damned. There's probably dozens of CDs that I bought them because I was obsessed with that band at that time, and I never listened to it. So that was kind of how this started. And so, yes, I have actually discovered some great CDs in my collection. And I've also discovered some CDs that I'm like, what was I thinking when I got that one? So anyway, so that's the general concept of the show. But, however, we do a couple themes throughout the year. Special episodes, if you will, ABC After School special episodes. And this is December, so therefore we do a Christmas album. So we do a couple different thematic things throughout the year. I got a lot of really cool stuff planned for 2025 because I will have a lot of time on my hands that I can invest in some cool concepts here. Spoiler alert. But anyway, so we do the theme is in December, we always do a Christmas album. So I really honestly thought after doing this for like 3 years now, I didn't think I would have any more Christmas CDs in my collection, but I actually did find another one. It is by the majestic Alicia Keys. The album is called Santa Baby. This is TRS number 65, if you can even believe it. So I can't think of a better person to have for our Christmas episode this year than Alicia Keys. Absolutely one of my favorite voices of all time. I've gone on record with this. Alicia Keys and Christine McVie are, in my opinion, the two most beautiful voices that have ever lived. I just melt. Either one of them, I melt. And they're... You could flip a coin. One day I'll be a Christine McVie fan as far as the beauty of Songbird and the beauty of her voice. And then other days it's Alicia Keys and Empire State of Mind and things like that. So just the two of them, melt me every time I hear them. So anyway, and I've had many battles with people over Alicia Keys over the years, because people who are massively into Beyonce, like, let me have it. They hammer me because they think that I'm out of my mind for liking Alicia Keys better than Beyonce. So, but I stand by it. I don't care. Alicia Keys is just phenomenal talent across the board, whether it's the piano, whether it's the singing, whatever. So anyway, in doing the research for this episode, her real name is Alicia Cook. I'm assuming that she took the name Keys, Keys, because she was a piano player. But I don't know. I don't know that for sure, but that just seems like an easy leap of faith to make there. So, and like I said, what got me into her was Empire State of Mind. Seeing her perform it live at a Yankees game. I think it might have been a World Series game, but a playoff game, whatever, on the field at Yankee Stadium. Just playing it there in that setting, I thought it was so symbolic, so vibrant. It just completely sucked me into being an Alicia Keys fan. So I don't know how many, it was probably about 15 years ago or so. But man, I've been a fan of hers ever since then. Her first album was 2001. She's won numerous Grammys. Can't even get into how many. Sold over 90 million albums nationwide. So a couple things that I learned about Alicia Keys in doing this episode. She grew up with a single mother. Rough part of New York City, really toughened her up, turned her into a little badass, I guess. And she says it served her well in being in the music business, because it's a cutthroat business, as we can assume. She was given a piano at the age of 10. She totally took to it, stuck with it. She signed with Columbia Records, believe it or not, at the age of 15, but also continued her education. So, but it was a very rocky, I guess, relationship with Columbia. It was an awful relationship in some opinions. They tried to change her music. They tried to change her image. She said, she went on record that there was a lot of sexual harassment going on behind the scenes at Columbia Records to her. So that went nowhere, despite the fact that it was actually quite a cool accomplishment that she got signed at 15. But the relationship went nowhere. There was I don't think she released any music with them whatsoever. She fought to get released, and she did get released from the contract in 1998. She jumped over to Arista Records. Clive Davis was the person who brought her over to Arista, and gave her all kinds of creative freedom that she didn't have at Columbia. So she enjoyed working for him. In 2000, he got ousted from Arista, and then he eventually started his own company, and she was one of the first people that he signed to his label. Her first album debuted at number 1. It was called Songs in A Minor. Debuted at number 1 on Billboard. That's just incredible. Just incredible. But her career has been a complete whirlwind. She's written books. She's been in movies. Huge albums, like one album after another. It's just been bigger than the last. She's won so many awards, so many different fields in all different things. She's probably going to be one of those, what is it, EGOT, that wins the Grammy, the Tony, the Oscar, and the Emmy. She's probably going to win them all before it's all said and done. So I think she's pretty universally liked. I don't hear too many people ripping on her, except the Beyonce fans that lose their minds when I say I like Alicia Keys better than just about anybody else in music. But yeah, you never hear anybody like, F that Alicia Keys. You never hear criticism like that. You never hear negativity. You never hear people just saying any negative things about her. She just seems to be universally liked across the board. In terms of influences, you can hear so many different things in her music: classical, R&B, obviously, jazz, hip-hop, pop. I don't know that there's very much rock, but definitely pop in there. They've called her the queen of R&B. She's on numerous lists, between being most influential, greatest female artists of all time, best singers of all time. Any list along those lines, you're going to find her on there. So this particular album, Santa Baby, is the name of the album. It was her 9th and, shockingly, the most recent studio album of hers. It was out in 2022. It has 4 original songs on it, 7 covers. In terms of the critics, they mostly were positive about it. It hit number 148 on Billboard when it came out. So I think because specifically, it's a Christmas album, so those are not things that are going to be number one unless you're, I don't know, a Korean boy band or whatever. Taylor Swift, maybe, if she did a Christmas album, maybe she has, I don't know. So it hit number 148. It did hit number 19 on the holiday albums chart the year that it came out, so there was that. So I will say this, I was conflicted on this because I love Alicia Keys, as I've said, but the album itself is called Santa Baby. I truly disliked that song. I think the most well-known version of Santa Baby is the Madonna one from Very Special Christmas, and it was so campy. I just don't like that song. I have nothing against Madonna. There's been a lot of great songs, a lot of great music from Madonna over the years, but that version of that song was just awful. So when this came out and it had that name, I'm like, ugh, God, what is this going to be? So I just thought that the campiness of that one, and I think before Madonna, it was Eartha Kitt or somebody that originally did it, and I heard that version too, and also very campy. So I'm like, can Alicia Keys possibly fix this song? Can she possibly make me not hate that song? So I'm hoping that she fixes it with this album, with this version of the song, because obviously with the name of the album is Santa Baby, it's going to be on here. The album itself has a photo book, no lyrics, but, they're Christmas songs, so there's no deep, hidden lyrical content here, content that I need to explore. There's no lyrics that I need to go after. It's 36 minutes long. It is 11 songs, like I said, 7 covers and 4 originals that are Alicia Keys songs. So let us get started, shall we? So 'tis the season. Let's get started. So, all right. In the one spot, guess what it's going to be? It's the title track. It's Santa Baby. So here we go. Will it top Madonna? Will it get that song? Will it get the album off to a good start rather than giving me a bad taste in my mouth because I don't like that song? So anyway, it starts with her talking to Santa, basically. It's very breathy. What I actually came away with on this song was it sounds kind of like if it was, say, for instance, Marilyn Monroe singing to JFK. You've seen that very famous clip with the happy birthday. That's kind of how it comes across as Alicia Keys singing to Santa. So it's that kind of bit. It's a little bit more, I guess, flirty than campy. The camp is definitely there. Not as bad as the Madonna one, but it's definitely there. So, but Alicia slows down the tempo. This comes across more as like a cabaret singer sitting on a piano in a jazz club, with a smoke-filled room. That's kind of the sound I get. That's kind of the vibe and the interpretation of this song that I get from Alicia on this version rather. So is it an improvement? Yes. It can't possibly be worse. So, and you mix in, the phenomenal voice of Alicia Keys. It's got to be an improvement. So I guess what it is for me is it's a PG flirty song, and it's just awkward because it's like, here's these women that are flirting with Santa Claus. It's just awkward. It's weird. For any version of it, it's just an awkward song. Not a fan. Better with Alicia Keys singing it, of course, because it's her voice, but still not a fan of Santa Baby. So we're not off to a phenomenal start. A little bit better, but not off to a phenomenal start with the first song. So, all right, second song is called Christmas Time Is Here. I'm looking at the credits, and it says it's written by Vince Guaraldi. And I'm like, that's the Peanuts guy. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Peanuts guy that does Charlie Brown and all that stuff. So it comes on, and I'm like, oh, no. It is my most hated Christmas song. No, I don't hate the Mariah Carey song. I mean, we've all heard it 8 billion times, but I don't hate it. This song I hate. It's the Peanuts song. It's that really depressing Christmas time, where it's just that spare piano and it's just that awful, depressing sound. So that comes on, and I'm like, oh no, now this? So first we get Santa Baby, and now this Christmas Time Is Here. So I'm thinking again, can she save it? So it's just that really spare, just depressing sound. So she does sound magnificent, I will say that. Her voice sounds amazing here, but at the end of the day, it's still that ultra depressing, sad music. And I'm like, why can't we get something a little more positive here so far? So it is an improvement. Again, I say this simply because of her voice. So, but I'm thinking, okay, this is another, we need some cheerful stuff here. This is Christmas songs. We need some cheerful stuff. So Christmas Time Is Here at the second spot. So finally, at number 3, we're going to turn things around a little bit here at number 3. So it's called Favorite Things. It is a Rodgers and Hammerstein song, not the wrestler. Rodgers and Hammerstein. It is a very familiar song. You would know it as soon as you heard it. So her voice, Alicia's, I call her Alicia. I'm an insider, musical insider. Her voice is mesmerizing here. It's, like I said, it's that very familiar song that you've heard. These are a few of my favorite things. But she jazzes it up, uses a number of different vocal techniques here. She uses a whisper quite a bit, very much like humming throughout it. So all different kinds of various vocal sounds to change it up a little bit. She turns it into a completely, the production of it is a completely, totally hypnotic beat with, like I said, mostly whispered, hushed lyrics. So I think it's really good. It's very different. It's a very different adaptation to a Christmas classic. Really enjoyed Favorite Things in the number 3 spot. So finally something that I was really behind and really a fan of in the 3rd spot. So, all right, we're halfway through. We are going to take a break. We're going to pay some sponsors. We're going to pay some bills. And we will be right back with side 2 of Santa Baby by Alicia Keys. Ho, ho, ho. No commentary on that. No pun intended. Be right back, guys. Ho, ho, ho. We are back at the record store. We're back in the jingly studio over here. And ho, ho, ho is not any kind of commentary on the artist that we are spotlighting today. I live in enormous admiration of Alicia Keys, even if I can't say her name. So the album for this month, for December, for the Yuletide season, if you will, is Santa Baby by Alicia Keys, her 9th studio album. And we are covering it for Christmas time. So if you celebrate, if you don't celebrate, whatever. It's fucking music. Relax. Anyway, all right. So back to the album. We are in the number 4 song. It is called December Back to June. It is the first of the original songs on this album. So I was really curious and really interested to see what this was going to be, because so far it's been pretty much contemporary Christmas songs that we're familiar with on the album. So it is a Christmas-themed album for the most part. We'll get to some commentary on that towards the end here. But anyway, December Back to June, it's the first original. Right away, very upbeat, especially compared to the first 3 songs. So I was really excited about that. Just a very much more energetic beat to it when it first starts out. Honestly, December Back to June just sounds like an Alicia Keys song that happens to be about Christmas. So this is that voice. This is the voice that just gets me every time I hear it. Just melts me. Honestly, this song, December Back to June, is such a perfect Christmas song. It could easily make the radio overkill list, that Mariah Carey seems to own. So until we can't take any more of it. So, but I would say in moderation, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm going to say that a couple times throughout the rest of the songs here. I don't get why you don't hear Alicia Keys. She has a Christmas album. She is revered by millions. She has won numerous Grammy Awards. She's an enormous, legendary performer and legendary voice. Why is she not on the Christmas radio overkill list? I don't get it. Get with it, radio. Come on. If there is still radio, I know Light FM, I think, in Chicago still plays Christmas music 24 hours a day for the month of December. I think they started it in freaking September or something this year, and people are all up in arms about it. So, but yeah, seriously, I don't know why songs like December Back to June, it's a beautiful, great Christmas song, should be getting played a lot more on the radio. So, all right. That was the 4th song. 5th song is Please Come Home for Christmas. It is the Charles Brown, not Charlie Brown. We talked about him earlier today. Shout out to Linus and Pigpen. But not him. It's Charles Brown and Gene Redd wrote this song, Please Come Home for Christmas. You've heard it. You know the Eagles version of it. That's probably, at least to me, that's the most familiar version of it with Don Henley singing. Very famous song. It's been around forever. I'm sure there's been numerous covers of it. But on this one, Alicia belts it out. It kind of has this gospel feel to it, honestly. The background singing arrangement, which is her and other people, just has this really kind of gospel-y vibe to it. So, again, I ask, why are we not hearing this at all on the radio? When we are hearing literally Mariah Carey, and I'm not digging on her, I'm not hating on Mariah, but, we all make that joke every year at this time. Oh my God, I'm so sick of it. Why are we hearing Mariah? You know, we make that comment every year at this time, and every year it happens again. And there's songs out there to choose from, people. Come on, radio. What is going on? Please Come Home for Christmas by Alicia Keys is an amazing version of it. So why are we not hearing this at all? And I love the Eagles, obviously. I've talked about the Eagles many times, but come on, let's mix it up. You can still play the Eagles version of it, no problem. But this is the incomparable Alicia Keys, folks. Let's put her version of it on as well. So, a great version of Please Come Home for Christmas by Alicia Keys. So, all right, sixth song, another cover. It is Happy Christmas, War is Over. It is the very famous John Lennon song that you've heard over and over again as well. This time of year and throughout you actually hear that on rock radio. You'll hear Happy Christmas on rock radio. But it's a cover of that. And what I thought was funny, I guess, is on the lyric, well, it's not the lyric booklet, the credit booklet. It credits the writing of this song to John Lennon and Yoko Ono. So I don't think that was meant as a disrespectful thing to Yoko Ono, but it says Yoko Ono. So, and as the butt of so many jokes about the Beatles and the breakup of the Beatles and just her voice in general, I don't think that was a joke aimed at Yoko Ono, but I myself, as a spelling Nazi and grammar Nazi, I appreciated the fact that they misspelled her name and it was put on there as Yoko Ono. So, but back to the song. The piano here is beautiful. It really matches up with Alicia's voice perfectly. And what's ironic is that it's not her playing the piano on this song, so that's bizarre. But she sounds great, matched up with the piano sound on this song. Again, this is one that she totally belts it out. This version, and I'm a Beatles fan, love the Beatles. Zero disrespect for Lennon on this, but she just takes over this song and she makes it her own. She just completely dominates this song. His version obviously was stunning and beautiful for when it first came out, but she just owns this song. So I think the arrangement of Happy Christmas that she did on this is just beautiful. The way she improvs during it is also just outstanding. So one of the highlights of the album, it's a song that I already liked to begin with. So it's kind of like, I guess, the polar, if you will. 'Tis the season for polar references. It's the polar opposite of Santa Baby, because I came into that song already not liking it. And then when I saw that Happy Christmas was going to be on here, I'm like, oh, okay, I like that song already. I could actually listen to that song even when it's not Christmas time. I could listen to that in April and be fine with it. So I came into this song predisposed to liking that song. And Alicia just dominates it and makes it so good. So, all right, sixth song is Happy Christmas. Seventh song, You Don't Have to Be Alone, is the name of the song. It's another one of the originals that she did here. Her voice is absolutely gorgeous on this song. You Don't Have to Be Alone. When you first hear that title, you're like, what does that have to do with Christmas? So she's basically singing to, I believe, a guy. That he doesn't have to be alone for Christmas. He could be with her. He should be with her. They could be together having fun. I think that's the pretty obvious interpretation of it. So it could just be singing to a friend. She could be just reaching out to a friend who she knows is lonely and on the other side of the country or something when she's in New York and that friend is in LA, male, female, whatever. Feels like it's to a lover or whatever, or that kind of vibe, but I'm not sure. But it's just a beautiful song. And as I've kind of implied, there's songs of Alicia Keys that just hit me in my emotions, hit me in the feels, as the kids like to say. And this is one of them. You Don't Have to Be Alone is one of those songs that just grabs my heart and grabs my emotions, and I'm not afraid to admit it. So it's another great Alicia Keys song. This song could have easily been on a regular album of hers. It just happens to be about Christmas, so it makes the cut here. So the seventh song, You Don't Have to Be Alone, even though there's not a ton of Christmas references here, it's just a phenomenal song, just a great song in the seventh slot. So, all right, eighth song is called The Christmas Song. Not sure when you read that you know what it is. I see that it's written by Mel Torme. I'm like, oh boy. It's going to be some old jazzy sounding song or whatever. So, but when it comes on, you realize immediately this is the familiar chestnuts roasting on an open fire song. It's that song. So with such a generic title, the Christmas song, it could be anything. It could have been an original. It could have been whatever. So, but like I said, when I saw Mel Torme, I'm like, the Velvet Fog. I even know that. I remember that as a kid, hearing that his nickname was the Velvet Fog. So, but it's that song. You've heard it a billion times. This is another one that needs to get shuffled. This version needs to get shuffled into the mix. In looking at this song, I kid you not, there are 1,709 covers of this song. 1,709 versions of this song. Names including Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, Barbra Streisand, Adele Dazeem, she did it, Billy Crystal, John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard, for Christ's sake. So this version is beautiful. It's that, like I said, chestnuts roasting, but it's Alicia Keys singing it. So again, why are we still hearing all of the? Well, I don't know. We're not hearing the John Schneider version. We may be hearing Adele Dazeem. I don't know, but John Travolta might know. But you're hearing versions of the Christmas song on Christmas radio every year, but you're not hearing the Alicia Keys version. So make me her damn press secretary or PR agent or whatever. You need to get her on there. Her version of the Christmas song needs to be on the radio. I'm sorry. I will protest radio stations until I have it happen, maybe next year. So, all right, ninth song. It's a great version of the Christmas song, by the way. The title of the song needs to be a little less generic, though. Christmas Music. That should be the name of it. So, all right. Ninth song is called Old Memories on Christmas. It is another original. This one is an odd one. This one, I have to say, it's very odd because the music, it's an original. So, again, this one is one of the Alicia Keys written songs. The music sounds just like Please Come Home for Christmas, which was not only on the album, but 4 songs back. So, I will never pass up hearing Alicia Keys' voice, but maybe this one is a little too similar to the other song and could have possibly been replaced by something else on this album. Or, replace one of them, because they're just these 2 songs, Old Memories on Christmas, sounds so much like Please Come Home for Christmas. So the only thing that really stood out, aside from, again, her voice, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to hear her voice, but one thing that stands out is, especially towards the end of the song, they add like these little popping sound effects to make it sound like you're listening to the song on vinyl. So, I mean, fine, good, nice little trick. I'm okay with it. But yeah, I'm really confused because Old Memories on Christmas sounded so much like Please Come Home for Christmas on the very same album that I just got a weird feel to it. So, not especially one of the giant highlights of the album. So, all right, 10th song is called Not Even the King. It is an original. The title just sounded familiar to me. I'm thinking, is this going to be about Jesus, about Santa, because she's saying the king. So, turns out it's a remake of one of her own songs from 2012. It's a beautiful piano ballad, but it's pretty well known. It's not, you've probably heard this song. If you're any kind of level fan of Alicia Keys, you've probably heard this song. So pretty well known, but it's a beautiful piano ballad love song, basically. To be entirely honest, I don't know why it's here. I'm fine with it being here because, again, I love her voice, so I want to hear her sing. And like I said, I'm thinking maybe she's going to modify the lyrics, rewrite the lyrics so it's about Jesus or something, since she talks about the king. But really, it's still that same love song where if you interpret the lyrics, she's saying that she wouldn't trade their love for anything, for riches, for power, for wealth. It's just simply a love song. I'm not sure what the Christmas connection is here. Maybe it was an effort to redo that song and get it played on the radio. I don't know. But again, if we're going back to the Christmas radio stations and talking about Mariah and all the songs that we're so used to hearing, I don't know that this song fits in because it doesn't come across like a Christmas song, quite frankly. Great song. I'll take it. Despite the incongruousness of the fact that it's on a Christmas album. So, and it's not rewritten or reinterpreted to sound like it's about anything other than the lover in the song lyrics. So, great song, Not Even the King at number 10. So, and then we wrap it up. The 11th song is Ave Maria. I think I'm saying that correctly. It was written by Sir Walter Scott and Franz Schubert. So a little bit of history there for you. So, and it was written in the 1820s. So yeah, a bit of a chestnut here, I would say. So that's 200. Wow, I just realized 200 years ago. So it is very operatic. As soon as it comes on, you're like, it's either Italian or Latin, one or the other. It's Latin. I looked it up, but it's either Italian or Latin because it's operatic. It might be a Christmas song, but I wouldn't know because it's in another language. So of course she sounds great here, But this came across kind of like watching a foreign film without the subtitles, because I'm like, I have no clue what she's singing about. She sounds beautiful, of course, because it's Alicia Keys and she sounds beautiful, but no idea. So it turns out it's a very religious song. It's a tribute to the Virgin Mary. Again, it was written 200 plus years ago. The most famous version of this song, turns out it was recorded by Pavarotti. And it also got a lot of notoriety from being in Fantasia, the Disney movie Fantasia. So I'm like, okay, it's there. It is Alicia Keys, so I'll take it. But I don't know. It's foreign language songs. I don't go see foreign movies, call me naive or call me, simpleton or whatever. I don't go see foreign movies. And if I ever have seen a foreign movie, it has to have subtitles so I know what the hell is going on. So anyway, so it's on the album. It closes the album. Kind of an odd choice to close the album. But that is it. That is Santa Baby. Here's my biggest takeaway, and I've referenced it a couple times already throughout the episode. My biggest takeaway is there's easily a half dozen songs on this album that should be on radio rotation every December, and why they are not, I have no idea. I'm just no idea, because like I said in the preface, I think that if there's an artist that is seemingly universally liked, it's Alicia Keys, and I don't know if it's because she's not going after that airplay, she's not I don't know, capitalistic or whatever, but man, these are beautiful songs that fit the season, could easily take away a handful of the times you hear Mariah Carey throughout the day. And again, not to dig on her, not to hate on her, great song, whatever. If you like that song, fantastic. But I think we can all agree it's overplayed. There's a half dozen songs on this album that could take the place of a half dozen airings of that song throughout the day when you're stuck listening to Christmas radio all day at work, like I am. So anyway, my biggest takeaway again is just simply that there's a half dozen really good songs on here that could easily take the place and be played on radio for at least November and December every year. And a couple of these songs I wouldn't mind hearing in April. So there you go. So that is it. That is our holiday spectacular episode of The Record Store. I'd like to thank, number one is Alicia Keys, because like I said, she is a legend. One of my Mount Rushmore voices, not necessarily in rock and roll, but one of my Mount Rushmore voices of just beautiful voices. And this is interesting that this is the first album of hers that I've actually had on the show. So, but thank you to her for making such great music over the years and being such a phenomenal role model. God, you never hear anything negative about Alicia Keys. There's never any scandal. It's always just so positive and so uplifting with her. So thank you to her for this great music. Thank you to Brian for producing and making the show sound as good as it does. Thank you to you, TRS Nation, or the Record Store Nation, as I like to call you folks. Thank you to our sponsors. Just very humbled this time of year. At the end of another year and the beginning of a phenomenal 2025 is upon us. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for supporting our show, and thank you for supporting the wrestling shows that we do as well, and everything else on this network. I truly appreciate it. You truly do keep me going on Cheetos and ramen and coffee. So thank you so much to you guys for your support. 'Tis the season. You should order All the Right Notes on Amazon.com. And don't forget, by Lance Levine, Levine. There will be another book. There is another book on the horizon. I'm not going to reveal too much about it and about the subject matter, but there is a second book is going to be on the horizon. So you got that to look forward to, hopefully in 2025. The work has just begun on that. So that is it. Have a great holiday season, guys. Be safe. Be careful on New Year's. If you celebrate, have a safe and healthy New Year's if you celebrate the snowflake statement there. So have a great holiday season, guys. And if you're a Patreon, stay with us. We'll talk about our favorite song on the album. Otherwise, I'll see you next year. Thanks, Record Store Nation. Talk to you.